Okay, now here's a fella I'd like you to meet, and you maybe like him, or you certainly know somebody is like him. You know, one of those guys who's in the garage all the time, tinkering with stuff, in love with some idea, his passion, and it's not even a high-tech passion. You know, this fella actually is involved in something called the Zoetrope. You know, it's a movie making machine before they had movies. It's a great thing, and he loves this stuff, and he's been working on it so many years. He's an inventor and an artist, and this is really his passion. So he went on the internet to try to raise a whole bunch of money to get him equipment to make these things and mass distribution, and he failed. You know, but that failure was important to him because now he came back on the internet just like a month later or so, and he's raising twice as much as he ever thought he would. You know, so this is neat, and it's this, you know, this low-tech machine that he needs equipment to make bunches of them, and he makes them so well they're even in big movies like the Lone Ranger movie that was out recently. One of his products are right in there, and they're coming out in another movie too, a big movie about Walt Disney, and one of his products is going to be in there. See, so that's how you could take your passion, find money for it. Passion, you know, that thing you're tinkering around with in the garage, and it doesn't even have to be high tech. You know, there's a lot of low tech out there that we still need, and fun things, and that's what he's doing, is adding fun to people's lives, you know, by producing this product, and he now got the money to do it. So now watch this video. Well, Les Cookson, man, I never met anybody who was into retro technology that makes it so much fun.
There's a reason people did it so long ago, because it is a lot of fun. So.
Wow. But also you went on the internet and raised, look, you're up to $3,500 already, you know, and this is for equipment so you can make gazillions of these things, right?
Yeah, so I've been making them in my garage, punching out the slots by hand, and Kickstarter to get some money to ramp it up.
And it's called a Zeoflix, right? And did you have something there to show me or not? You don't have one right in front of you.
Yeah, it's called the Zoeflix, which is a new version of the Zoetrope, is what it was called before. And so here's one right here.
Right, and you spin that around and you watch movies, right?
Yeah.
It shows it. Yes, there he is.
Yeah, there you go. We got there's a little cartoon strip inside there.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you were saying that you're getting these, like you were, what was that, a filmmakers convention that they're using them for, and weddings and all kinds of neat, cool things.
Yeah, they were putting them as a centerpiece at a theater owners convention. I designed a custom animation strip. The animation strips, they look like this. It's just a bunch of cartoons on a strip, and then whatever you put on there, it'll bring it to life. So they had it as a centerpiece at all the tables, so they could see.
But you can do your own animation, right? I mean, it doesn't look that hard to do it, or kids could do it too. It looks like a great toy.
Oh yeah, you can draw your own. Here's one I drew in just a few minutes. You look in the Kickstarter video. I mean, it's very, very simple, but when it starts moving, it looks really cool. So.
Well, that looks like my artwork. So.
Yeah, that's something I did in just like 2 minutes without thinking about it ahead of time. And you just put time in it. You can do some cool stuff.
You were on Kickstarter before and failed, right?
Yeah, I failed and learned a lot from it, and got back up and tried again, and was successful the second time around. And it just shows that you keep trying, keep learning from your failures, and you'll make it.
Well, what are some of the things that you screwed up on the first time besides not listening to your wife?
Oh well, no, it was not listening to my wife. She kept saying, "I told you." There was things about the video that weren't clear enough. The video was we did the video and we did it again during the first campaign. We did 2 videos, and the first one was super. It just wasn't direct. It wasn't concise. There needed to be a clear, concise message. And a big thing too was just asking for too much money. Looking at Kickstarter and thinking, "Oh wow, look at how much all these projects are raising. We can raise a ton of money." And then sort of just figuring, okay, we're just gonna do.
We're gonna get $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second time around, I'm like, okay, what do I actually need?
I see.
I'm gonna use a lot of the same, instead of trying to do a whole new Zoetrope. Yeah. I'm gonna deal with the stuff that I already have, with a lot of the jigs and pieces and parts I already.
So the first time, before we got cut off, you said so the second time you used some of the stuff that you already used the first time and didn't require as much money to fundraise, right?
Yeah, the first time I was trying to just pull out all the stumps, build a whole new zoetrope, a different size. Every piece would have to been redone, and the equipment, new equipment for everything. And the second time around, rather than doing that, I realized, okay, I can't be greedy. I can't do everything that I want. I had to focus it down to the core, and just build off of what I had been building in my garage and expand that with the crucial equipment rather than trying to redo the whole thing.
But also being on the web and showing your product like that, doesn't that get you other kind of interest and things like that? I mean, anything else, like maybe possible distributors or people think it's cool and want it for their wedding or things like that. It must help in so many ways.
Oh yeah, because you get it on there and it's gonna be on there forever. And zoeflix.com, that I'm directing people to the Kickstarter. I mean, after the Kickstarter, I'm going to direct that domain name back to the website where people can get it. And it's something where Kickstarter is not just about raising money. It's about getting your name out there, getting your product, your idea, your artwork out there so people can see it. And it's a much more engaging platform so people are interested because they want to be part of it.
They're shopping.
And there's a lot of they're shopping, but they're also they're helping you in the creation process. They can give you feedback. They give me feedback. I can incorporate that in what I'm doing. And people who have a lot of the ideas of their own, they see someone else with an idea and they want to jump onto it because it makes it more fun. You make them part of the process.
Oh, wonderful! And so you have an R&D team of thousands of people that are helping you. And for a guy working in your garage, I mean, that's very important, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it's you can't overemphasize that part of it. Kickstarter is not an online store. It's an online community where people work together to bring creative projects to life, and it's something that you can't. And that's what creates excitement about it. Like I've been selling these zoetropes, making them in my garage for a while, and I've they're going to be in some movies this year. And
I know some big movies like The Lone Ranger, even, right?
Lone Ranger. I sold 4 of them to Disney for the Lone Ranger. And then one of them ended up in the background of the movie for 10 seconds. I was like,
as seen in The Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger for 10 seconds in the background.
It doesn't matter. You could say it in your ads. That's what counts.
Yeah. And then later this year, Saving Mr. Banks with Tom Hanks.
Oh.
Tom Hanks will be playing Walt Disney during the making of Mary Poppins. And my zoetrope, what I'm calling the Zoeflix, is going to be sitting on Walt Disney's desk.
Wow.
So I hope it.
So you're on Walt Disney's desk.
That's true. And they didn't. And Saving Mr. Banks' production team they couldn't go borrow one of the 4 that I sold to Lone Ranger. They had to buy a whole new one for themselves.
Boy, these people aren't very creative, are they?
I don't know. I think maybe they want a few extra ones because they get them and they probably want to take them home afterwards.
I see, especially for their kids. No, I mean, it's just a wonderful social thing, too, to show people, to have it on the middle of your own kitchen table or dining room table and have pictures of your kids in there. So then they have to watch.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's something where it looks beautiful. You set it out, it looks really cool, and you pick it up and you're like, oh wow, this is interesting. And adults are fascinated with it. You show it to your friends that come over, a conversation piece. They'll look at it, and children will sit there and just play with it for hours.
Yeah, well, just looking at your video on Kickstarter, I mean, that's fascinating to watch that, and especially with the light inside. When you have the light inside going around, man, it looks like I'm in the drive-in movies. Yeah.
It's really hard to show that in a video. It looks so much cooler in life. Well, it looks cool in the video as well, but just the way that the light comes out of the slots and the way it kind of waves around in the dark, and you see this glowing like whirl of light with a cartoon inside of it. It's there's nothing like it.
Okay, so more importantly, man, you're a guy working in your garage, working on this stuff, and you go to Kickstarter, you fail once, and you learn from that, come back, and now you're up to $3,500, and you're not even finished yet, and you're successful already.
No, yeah. I mean, by the time it's done, who knows how high it could be. This last week last couple of weeks are always big.
Yes, and that's what they tell me. And so people, you go to Zoeflix, ZOEFLIX.com, right?
That's correct.
Right, that's where to see it and get a pre-production. And you get it for Christmas time, right?
Oh, yeah. Even if you missed the Kickstarter, you can still get on the pre-order. and get them before Christmas.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being there. Oh, sorry. What was that?
I'm gonna say they'll be continually on sale
I see.
on zoeflix.com afterwards.
You have to, because you're going to have kids someday. You got to send them to college. Your wife wants the mortgage paid, all this kind of stuff, right?
Mortgage paid and a new pair of shoes, you know.
Right. Well, wonderful. You're a delight, Les, and thanks for showing us what the world was like. And there's good parts of it that we should keep using because they're cool, right?
Yes. Don't forget, there's a lot of cool technologies that existed before television.
Right.
Very clever, and before there's electricity, they came with lots of different ways to entertain themselves, and they are even in some ways more entertaining today because of how simple they are.
Right.
So,
well, we may have to go back there if we don't use this electricity thing right.
yeah. You get a power outage. Everyone else can be bored, and if you have a zoetrope, you're gonna be
exactly wonderful.
Go.
Well, thanks for educating us, Les, and we go to zoeflix.com.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Maybe I should put this show on one of those machines. Then you can take it. But actually, what's clever what he did too is he makes them for like centerpieces for weddings and things like this. I mean, just great unique markets. See how you could be unusual, and that unusual markets for an existing product. And that's what life is all about, trying to find new uses for things. And so that's what he's able to do, and maybe that's the inventor in us, but we're all smart enough to do that. It's just given the chance. And actually the other thing is giving a chance to fail like he did. He went on the internet and failed. You have to get out there and fail. And that's why the internet, raising money on it, it's a great safe place to fail. It costs them almost nothing, just producing a couple-minute video, and the rest is nothing, just stuff he already does. So try it.